Welcome in, everybody, to episode 5 of TED Talks. We have Coach Teddy Pettigrew with us again today as we are preparing for another week of Friday night football. And we start out always kind of discussing the game that just happened last week. And I know Coach is ready to move on to tonight's matchup. But we want to talk about kind of the Greenfield game. First half, obviously offensively moved the ball back and forth quite a bit. A lot of things kind of came into play there. Fumbles and penalties kind of seemed to strike both offenses to start that game, didn't it?
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, we cannot give up momentum. Right before half, they threw a double pass. I mean, our kids, and it was right after timeout. We telling the kids the situation. I mean, it's right before half. We can't give up a big play, and we had a senior cornerback come running up on a toss, and they threw a double pass over his head. I mean, he knows better than that.
Yes,
I mean, we went over that so many times in practice, and he's got to do his job. We gave him a little momentum. We let him score first.
Yeah.
And our objective, man, don't let the other team score first. This is our field.
And you knew that kicker was going to be pretty confident. He stood over there and he kicked the entire game in that little net, and we knew he must have had a leg on him and was going to be pretty accurate when he came out. Right. So,
we attempted one though.
Yes, we did.
I'm proud of us for attempting to kick a field goal. I mean, our guys got to understand just. Do it the way you do it in practice.
That's right.
I mean, Stephon hit that maybe 20 times in practice that week.
Yeah. Yeah, and it wasn't just terribly off. As far as aim, he had it. It just the distance wasn't.
Yeah, well, he didn't hit it. He didn't really hit the ball. He hit the side of the ball. When I slow play it and look at it, he didn't really hit the ball. So,
okay. Well, defensively, probably not our best game. We played pretty solid a few games, but this was a game the defense can learn something from.
I mean, just like the problems we've had in the past this season is middle linebacker.
Yes, sir.
We're in middle linebackers instead of filling the gap, they backpedaling, and those guys are young, man. They've got to learn the game, and we're trying our best to teach it to them, man.
Yeah.
You got to understand when you got freshmen. I mean, fresh out of middle school, playing middle linebacker, you're going to struggle a little bit.
Well, sure.
You're going to struggle a little bit. So, I mean, this week, like I said, we're going to move guys around and try to find those guys. We've been trying to find them since the spring.
Yeah. So, well, how do you feel like your newer quarterback did Friday night? I mean, grading that performance.
To be honest with you, I think he controlled the game. He played a solid game.
I felt that way.
I'm very proud of the kid. It was a struggle not to give him offensive player of the game. Just Jeremiah Jones ran the ball so well.
Yes, he did.
We had to give him a nod. So,
and I saw where you went with Jeremiah more than Jaboris this week. Was that just game planning, or
no? It's just Jeremiah doing things right.
Okay.
I mean, Jeremiah. Jaboris got the opening handoff, and he struggles with looking at the handoff instead of looking at the hole, having his eyes up and hitting his leg. Every running back and the way you coach running backs, they have an aiming point.
Okay.
And if you're looking at the handoff, you're never going to hit your aiming point.
Okay.
There's something Jaboris struggle with, man, and we're trying to coach the kid to do it right. We ain't giving up on Jaboris.
Well, no.
Can still run the ball.
Yeah.
But he's got to learn. He's got to learn how to hit his aiming point. And Jeremiah was hitting it. So,
That's right. That's right. Well, you go with the hot hand. Well, what's working? Obviously, you don't stop what's working, and it was obviously working. And Jeremiah Jones, he's got a different style of running than Jaboris does as well. And I didn't necessarily get that technical with it, but up top, I was thinking, the style of running Jeremiah was doing was working there at first, and we were definitely able to move the ball around. But again, the red zone just continues to plague us punching that ball in.
That's when we get the high snaps or the low snaps.
Yeah.
So, and it's because that's where you get the pressure. The center, I mean, it's not that like the kids are trying to snap the ball incorrectly. Yeah. It's just they're running blitzes, and that's why I keep telling our scout team defense, you've got to turn the heat up on us in practice. Because if you can't block it in practice, you ain't going to block it in the game.
Yeah.
And if they never see it in practice, they're not prepared for the game. So today you saw a lot of that in practice today with them blitzing the A-gaps and trying to get our center prepared for it. So.
And this is not necessarily questioning coach, it's just kind of asking for clarification here. I know when I get here early, a lot of times it's, obviously last week the quarterback was needing to get some extra reps, and so it was a coach just kind of tossing the ball to him as a snap, kind of a syndicated snap. Can the center not show up to do that, or are you worried he might wear his arm out?
Are you talking about early during Before the games or before practice?
Before the games.
Well, before the games, the center is inside. He's actually in class because we're talking to him about possible blitzes and things that might happen in the game. So
makes sense.
He's actually inside snapping the ball and going over things with the coaches.
Okay.
So
excellent.
And getting taped up. A lot of our linemen have to get taped up because they're in the trenches.
Yes.
If you don't tape them, man, they're gonna have sprained ankles and torn ligaments and all that. So it takes a lot to go in there, get linemen ready to play.
Well, you've done good so far this year, keeping our players, as healthy as possible and preparing them for that, and that goes into some of that, know, and I appreciate that. We're seeing a great season on that front, and I saw a lot of positives that we pull out of this game from Greenfield. Obviously, I know in football there's no moral victories when you start looking at the wins and loss column.
There's not. We've got to get on in the win column. I mean, if you look at practice today, I mean, and this is something that's got to change at Humboldt.
Yes,
I mean, you see the amount of guys who are at practice.
Yep.
When you show up to practice sometimes during the week.
Matter
of fact, you was here Monday.
And,
and Monday you saw the small amount of guys at practice.
I've got video footage.
This is Monday. So on Mondays you have to be at practice. And I always say this, and I'm gonna look in the camera. Parents,
please.
If your son missed practice, it's like missing 10 days of school.
Yeah.
And the thing about missing practice, you can't make practice up. You can make schoolwork up. I'm not encouraging anyone to miss school. Don't get me wrong. I would never encourage a child to miss school, but you can make schoolwork up. You cannot make practice up. Once it's over, you don't get that day back.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you where I got that from.
Okay.
There was a mother that of a guy that I coach.
Okay.
And this guy ended up making it to the NFL, and that's what she instilled in him.
Really?
You make it to football practice. If you need to go to therapy, I'll take you during school. If you need to go to the doctor, I'll take you during school. I can get an excuse. You can make that school work up, but you can't make practice up.
Yeah.
And just so happened her son was a 6th-round draft pick for the Tennessee Titans and played a nice year, a nice career in the NFL, and he's getting a pension from the NFL. So this is a mother that said that.
Wow.
That's where I got that from.
That's fantastic. Well, Coach, you talked about how, and I'm going to show some video footage before the game Friday from Monday's practice, because it was pretty disappointing, to see that you really didn't have enough players to even go 11 on 11.
We did not.
It was sad, but. As far as the practice itself, I know one thing we talked about last week was seeing them give their all in practice, because even in your post-game show with John Seaton on the field, you were very emotional, and rightly so, about players that quit.
Yeah.
And the way you keep from quitting is you practice hard through the week.
You practice hard.
Are we seeing that change? Or?
I mean, we're seeing it out of certain people.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you this. The guys that you see dominate on Friday nights are the guys that dominate in practice.
Okay.
The guys you see that get beat in practice, beat on Friday nights are the ones that tend to not put their best foot forward in practice.
Yeah.
They just go through the motion. And when you go through the motion, you're going to end up getting hurt, or Friday night you're not going to be prepared to play.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're the best ones that we got to put out on the field.
Right.
I'm begging guys to challenge and take positions, because I'm going to play the best ones that show me you can do it in practice. There's no quote unquote starters for this team. If you outperform somebody in practice, you play Friday night.
Well, I think you've shown you're willing to shake it up, and we're working on trying to find that right mix. And obviously nobody can argue the results on the field. What we're seeing in a lot of areas, we're seeing those shakeups working in some regards, and it felt like the offense and defensive fronts both Friday night struggled a little bit, but hopefully they can rebound. And man, Friday night we're going to need our A game. We're playing a very good Dresden Lion team.
And the thing about the Dresden team, they're not just. The talent level is equal to ours, but they take coaching to heart.
Yeah.
And their kids do it exactly the way they coach it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you got a group of guys who buy into what the coaches are saying and do what the coaches tell you to do, it makes a coach look like a genius. It does. I remember where I'm from, we had a fullback that we ended up he ended up being our short yardage tailback.
Okay.
And we were just trying to get 3 yards, and the kid took it for 78 yards.
Oh, my goodness.
And we was like, the next time we got the ball on offense, we was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm the fullback. No, get back at tailback. And we looked like geniuses because he became our starting tailback.
Wow.
But that's how it happens when you do things that coaches tell you to do the right way every time. I mean, that's the integrity that we need. And I tell the kids all the time, integrity is doing things the right way when no one's looking.
Yeah, obviously.
It does. You're not getting away with anything in life. I mean, because we have a our Lord Savior Jesus Christ.
That's right.
God watches over us.
Yes, He
does.
ain't
getting away with it.
No.
So you're going to answer for that one day. And that's the same thing as leadership. Leadership is, man, everyone leads. But you got to decide if you're going to lead them the right way or the wrong way.
Yeah.
There's no in-between when it comes to leadership. You can't be sometimes a good leader because then you become a bad leader.
That's right.
You got to lead the same way all the ways. I mean, that's consistency that we need on this team. And right now we're not there. We'll get there, though. We'll keep working at it. I'm going to show up every day, willing to work, and I'm going to work my butt off. That's who I am.
Sure. And like you say, those ones that are dominating on Friday night, I see a few of them. I mean, I see all of those here today. And, you obviously want more players to show up. You've talked to parents today on this program. Hopefully parents will take it to heart as well. And, it's just where these kids, you want the win on Friday night, but you got to put in the work to get there.
I take my hat off to a mother Monday. and it's not funny, but there was a kid that not show up Monday, and all of a sudden I looked over by the where you come in the gate, and she's pulling in with him.
Oh.
And she's giving it to him. You get over there, you get dressed, you get ready for football practice, and she said, no son of mine is going to quit. Because when you develop a habit of quitting, you're going to start quitting on your family one day. You're going to be hopefully somebody's husband, somebody's father one day, and you're not quitting on my family.
Yeah.
So she brought us behind the practice. And I need parents like that.
Yeah.
And she's a single mom, and she acts so much like my own mother, to where, man, I gave her a call out to practice to see if there's anything I could do for her to help her. Because I know I'm not these kids' fathers, but I mean, my father figure was my coaches one day. Yeah. I have a father. My father is living. He's alive. And if I call him right now, he'll pick up the phone and everything. But at the same time, coaches should be father figures too.
Yes, sir.
And, I mean, I've been in a situation where I've taken football players home and they've actually lived with me until they graduated from high school. Wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
But administration where I worked at, they allowed me to do it.
Yeah.
And the parents allowed me to do it because they couldn't take care of them. But that's just a little bit about who I am.
Yeah. So, and I know it can't become an excuse. I know the demographics of Humboldt's a little different. Right. And there's a lot of kids that aren't living with their biological parents. Right. And I can only imagine, thankfully, I've got a wife that helps me with my kids. But I can't imagine how tired you get as a single parent, but at the same time, you're raising adults. Yeah. You're raising the future.
And that kid, he's frustrated. I mean, he's frustrated. Sure. We're not winning ball games. He said, I'm not playing football. So, you know what, son? This ain't even about football anymore.
That's right.
This is about you doing what your mother asked you to do.
Yeah.
Or what she tell you to do. Because, I mean, truly in the Bible it says, disobedient child shorten the days of their lives. And I don't want any kid to live a short life.
That's right.
I mean, bad things happen to good kids a lot, but at the same time, no, I don't want any guy to play for me that's disobedient with his mother, especially a single mother.
Yeah. Now, as a team, I know you're focusing on this team right now, and the ones you have here, you're coaching. But you can't coach kids that ain't here, so you're doing the best you can, trying to stay focused on the ones that are here.
Right.
Are we to a point where right now we're more focused on executing necessarily the basics that we want to run as an offense and a defense, and then let everything else play out on Friday? Obviously, I know you and the coaching staff, you game plan. Mm-hmm. But how much does that translate to the kids right now?
I mean, it's hard to game plan when they're not here. We're game plan for – you take your talent and you look at what the defense gives you. You take your offensive talent, you game plan to beat them.
Yes.
But when they don't show up throughout the week for practice, how can you do it?
Yeah.
And same vice versa for defense. You take your defensive game plan and you game plan according to your talent to stop their offense.
Yeah.
You move guys around to where they will have an advantage to stop their favorite plays and that such.
Yeah.
But how can you do it when they don't show up to practice?
Yeah.
I mean, it's difficult because then Now we're putting another kid in that normally does not play that position, and you see a lot of that on Friday night. You've seen a lot of kids out of position.
Yeah.
Like, Coach, y'all change. Well, I mean, some of that is because the other kids are not showing up to practice. I'm not going to put them out there. They haven't been to practice.
No.
Not going to do it.
Friday night there was something that happened a couple of times, and I meant to ask you about this. I think it was the same player that we ended up with too many men on the field or something like that. Same player. How does that happen, and how do you correct that?
It's just they're not paying attention.
Okay.
They're not paying attention. And then some of it, the first time it happened, I took it. I said, that's on me. Y'all stop arguing. And they were arguing and fussing with each other. Y'all stop arguing and fussing. That's on me. I'm going to take that one.
Yeah.
I said, because, I failed to coach you right, to tell you when the starting H-back goes to running back, you're the second team H-back, you got to go in the game.
Yeah.
And your guy that you back up went to running back, so you had to go in the game. I take that on me.
Okay.
I guess I need to coach you better and tell you that you got to go in when your guy's in another position. I'll take that one.
Okay.
I'll take that one, but you do it over and over again, that's you not paying attention.
That's right. You coach.
You got to pay attention to the game.
And at some point, they have to understand, and even as fans, we have to understand coaches can't play the game.
No,
all you can do is coach.
All we can do is coach. And, I mean, a lot of times, I know in the stands that there are parents, and we're not winning games, so that you obviously going to have fans and parents talking mad noise about us right now.
Well,
but at the same time, those people are not here.
That's right.
During weekend practice. They have no idea what's going on in practice.
Yeah.
And I can't coach someone who's not here.
No.
And then in practice, if you're doing it a certain way in practice in the game, you can't go out there and do it different.
Mm-mm.
Like, a key point. Just to talk football, the X's and O's. We had a receiver that we got down on the goal line. This was our first drive. We ended up kicking the field goal right after that and missed the field goal. Mm-hmm. We had a senior receiver who let the strong safety push him inside to the safety when he's running a corner route. He knows that he's got to release outside.
Yeah.
He goes inside. He never gets to the corner, and the quarterback's trying to adjust the throw, and he threw the ball out of bounds down here.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Because of the way the receiver ran the route.
That
is the second time we've had a receiver mess that up in the game, time and time again. And on the sideline, we're coaching it.
Yeah.
But the fans don't hear that.
Right.
All they see is my son is open. Why can't they get him the ball? Well, your son ran the route wrong. He ran the route wrong. And when you tell them they ran the route wrong and they don't want to listen to us on the sideline, what is there for us to do?
Yeah, exactly.
They've got to listen, learn to listen, and listen to learn.
Yes, sir.
And if you don't do that, man, you're going to be out of position time after time. He's like, well, he gave me the inside. He gave you the inside because he wanted you to go inside so he can push you to the safety.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We give the inside up.
Yeah.
They're going to do that too. They're getting coached just like you are, son. But they're listening to the coaches and you are not.
Yeah.
So, those are the struggles that we have at Humboldt right now. We've got to overcome that.
Yeah.
We've got to overcome that, and they got to start listening to coaches. Every coach I have on my coaching staff played college football.
Okay.
No one's on my coaching staff that did not play in the college football, and they were excellent high school football players, and they played college football. So we know this game.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, my offensive coordinator, that guy was in the camp for the Indianapolis Colts. He made it all the way to the last cut.
Oh.
So this guy knows football.
Yeah.
He knows football.
Yeah.
So,
and, he's been sitting up top a lot. I think since he's moved up top, it's kind of helped. What do you think? You think that'll continue in Dresden, or you can put him in sideline Dresden?
No, I need him up top. I need him up top because what you guys don't understand, here in Humboldt, we're not fortunate enough to have the amount of money that other programs have because we're a small school.
Yeah.
And other schools, if you see it on the sideline, their coaches – they have iPads.
Yes.
It's like an eye in the sky, and they have instant replay that feeds back right there. We don't have it.
Yeah.
We don't have it, so I've got to send a coach up top to see what's going on because you cannot actually see everything down on that field on that level. You can't see it from the sideline.
Sure.
So we got it. We have to have our eyes up top.
Yeah. Definitely so. Well, Coach, I think it's been very informative. I appreciate you opening up to us and talking to us every Thursday night. and we're getting ready for a big Dresden game. And I don't want to get into a lot of what you're looking at with Dresden because you're trying to just get people on the field, and I know it's a battle on that front, and hopefully we can go into the Lions Den. And there's a reason why they play every game, folks, on Friday night. We're not going in there with a loss. We're going in there with a game to play.
Yes.
And with this new offense, I saw a lot of new things. With the two tailbacks in the backfield, you not know which one's going to get it. Man, it's got potential.
I'm not going to say it's new. It's just something that we've been practicing. We just wanted to bring that out during reason play. Because we want to tip our hands too early.
Sure.
So, now is the time we got to throw the kitchen. Oh, man, the whole kitchen sink at them.
Yeah.
So, off of that, we got a lot of stuff we can do off of that offense. We just got to get it called right. And when you get behind on the chains, it's difficult. Your playbook goes to very limited when you get behind on the chains.
Yes, sir.
So if we're ahead of the chains, man, we it's a wide open playbook, man. So
yeah.
We just got to get to where we can always stay ahead of the chains.
Sounds good, Coach. Good luck Friday night.
All right, man. Go Vikes.